Day Dawns ARKS! Welcome everyone to your Phantasy Star podcast recorded live on February 27th, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, PrinceBrightstar, and with me are Xance and Rooks. Go ahead and say hello.
Yo, yo, how's it going, everyone?
Greetings, everyone.
So, we've got another one of those months where, we're just expecting the seasonal event here. But there's a couple of interesting things that potentially could pop up here. I was taking a look at the roadmap recently. So one thing that we still don't have, granted, this is not that interesting, but we'll see. They said they were working on fixes for this. Duel Phase 4 is coming out in March, and then we've also got the new type of standing party quest. So we'll have to see what that's all about.
Standing party.
Okay. When they say standing quest, it means it's a permanent quest.
Oh yeah, okay.
So
yeah,
it's really a stupid situation we're in, where they think that temporary quest is the way to go. Whoever made that decision needs to get booted out of Sega hard.
Please.
Yeah.
But right now the standing party quest. Basically what I've been hearing and they've been advertising with the standing party quest is a return to dungeons. So maybe we'll actually have dungeons again.
Be nice.
Yeah, that'd be really nice. Supposedly we've still got maybe 2 or 3 more of those limited quests to come as well. So I guess we'll see what happens with those. And then, yeah, that's about it. So even from a month perspective here, this is looking like a fairly light month, unless they're expecting whatever this new standing party quest is going to be is actually going to last us like a good 5 weeks here. It looks like this month is going to go on for.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to hope it does, because at this point, what we're looking at is basically major sections of the player base, including me, have gone on vacation from this game.
I'm also on the same boat.
And I'm going to be honest. Well, actually, basically, whenever the player base goes on vacation from a game, especially one that's not very good, there's an extremely good chance they will never come back. It's a big problem. And Sega doesn't seem to realize that.
Yep. Yeah, it's just not a good situation, and those numbers on the Steam chart keep declining. It really has me wondering what the future of this game is going to end up being at this point here. I wonder if we're going to get past June and then they might announce the closure of the western side of things.
I hope not.
We'll have to see. Go ahead.
I'd be surprised, but at the same time, it's ultimately their fault at this point.
Yeah, that is true.
Yep.
And I'm also going to say, if the western side is having problems, from what Arwen has told me, basically it's the exact same situation over on the Japanese side. The player numbers are way down, so closing down. I won't be surprised if the western side is helping keep this game on life support right now.
Oh, absolutely it is.
Yeah, the prior investor reports seem to indicate that was what was happening, but we'll have to see when the next round of those come out. Fiscal year ends March 31st, I believe, for them. So we'll have to see what information they put out after that.
Maybe make it part of the in part of one of these episodes.
Yep, that's that would be a nice thing to put out. I completely agree. We also haven't seen anything in terms of like a character election or anything like that since Stia, so.
Mm-hmm.
Or even like a player survey. That's what I was trying to think of. That last player survey was like Retem the first time, I want to say. So yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a long time, and with the 3rd anniversary coming up later this year, I mean, they're gonna have to pull something big here in June, if they even make it that far.
Anyway, headline starting up here.
It's still... Yep, here goes.
Welcome back, everybody, to NGS Headline.
Hello, everyone. It's 9 p.m. So let's get started with NGS Headline. I am Hiro Arai, the official navigator of NGS, and I will be the MC for this program. I will be bringing you the latest info on NGS. What are your thoughts on the new 10-star rarity Rayar weapon series that was recently introduced? If you haven't gotten one yet, stay tuned till the end.
Oh, so we went straight to giving them away.
The Rayar series in this broadcast.
Yep.
Yep.
Now, once again, this program is to inform players about the current operation.
Yeah, the
and
leveling
upcoming
system
updates of
is
Sega's online
basically
RPG,
pointless.
PSO2
So
New
it's like-
Genesis, also known as
It's my
NGS.
main issue with
We
NGS.
will also
The
share
main
details
focus is
about
just
exciting
solely on
campaigns,
endgame and then
peripheral
nothing
information,
else.
and
It
discuss
makes the
present
leveling
and
experience
future
an
of NGS
absolute
for our players.
slog.
This is a pre-recorded
It kind of
broadcast.
hurts them even more
If
since
you
they're
would like
not
to
willing
watch
to
it in
make
Japanese,
outfits
you can
earnable.
check it out on the Japanese
Yeah.
NGS
Yep.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, you get like this some stuff
Without further
from the
ado,
early story, and
let's
that's about
move on
it.
to the updates you've all been waiting for.
Even base PSO2 had earnable outfits, and that was through fun.
In this episode,
Yep.
we would like to
You're
share
super
some
batter
information
here,
about
and
the March update.
Discord voice text is
Let's
saying,
start
yeah,
with
the
the
leveling
video.
up is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's see what they're leading up with here. Or leading off with, rather. New quest type, March 6th.
Time extension quests.
Is this
Oh.
endless quest?
It's basically endless, yeah.
Oh boy.
I
So the-
really like endless, so
This is based on that garbage from earlier, though. Those garbage
Yeah,
related
that
quests.
one
Yeah.
in the snow where we were snowboarding everywhere.
oh yeah, true. Oh, speaking of snowboarding.
Although they, for additional quests, this time in Ritem and Kavaris.
Also, this is not it's the standing quest, super batter.
Yeah.
Oh, permanent quest.
Yep. Interesting music they're putting with this, though. This sounds like something we'd hear, I guess, Starless sort of based. Maybe it's the Dual Quest music.
EV head, nice.
Oh yeah. You're about 1 or 2 seconds ahead of us here.
Yeah, I am.
Was that a 2D image of flowers?
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
The Idola stuff. I was just reminded immediately of that. It's where those characters are just always looking at you.
Oh, yeah, the Adola. I remember playing on the Japanese side whenever that was added, and they looked so dumb. I
Yeah.
got them purely, like, I played the mobile game purely so I could get those, because they looked so dumb.
Yeah. Speaking of Idola, we got some bad news we're going to be reporting later today. So
Yeah.
stay tuned for that.
Oh, so hear that? They're stealing music from PSO2 again. No, wait, that's not PSO2.
That's PSU.
Yes,
Yeah,
you, yeah.
this is PSU, yep.
Yeah, this is the Haruka Temple music.
Not PSU music. I'm reading the chat on the stream. Speaking of PSU, there's updates on Clementine that we'll be talking about as well.
Uh-huh.
What's the point of those weapons?
Elemental
get-
9
I-
stars, that's it.
Flurry of Flowers,
Yeah,
Cleanup
we're at the-
Operation 24. So this is another limited quest.
Yep. Field races!
Yeah, this looks like that last one seemed like a quest we had taken on last year.
They keep pushing that board races.
Yep.
And while I've grown used to how to operate them, I know a lot of players in the player base absolutely despise it. Why do they keep pushing it?
Maybe that's why they got the music playing like this here, to remind players PSU had a floating board as well.
Yep.
And I think that was ignored as well.
It was.
Yeah. Ethan used it at the start of episode 1, and then they ignored the whole concept until like episode 3 was running.
And we have another recycled enemy.
Yep, this is the dual quest. So the question is, are you going to need augments to complete this one or not? That's what the players were asking for. To have them not need that now. At least Ina gets a shield now.
Bodybuilder.
Hey, Tara. And, hey, everyone else.
What did you think? Let me go through the details with these slides. Starting with this. A new quest type, the Time Extension Quest, will be coming on March 6th. These quests involve defeating
So,
enemies that appear in
yeah,
multiple
the
ways
time
within
extension
a time
quest,
limit.
it sounds
The time limit
interesting,
increases
but
each time a
out of
target
all that,
enemy
it's
is
like,
defeated.
yeah, besides that, it's just more of the same.
Time, a
Pretty
total of
much,
4
yeah.
quests will be added. Lowland Combat Patrol Mission and Lowland Extermination, both set in Retum, and Frozen Forest Combat Patrol Mission and Frozen Forest Extermination, both in Kavaris. These quests
Although,
can be accepted
actually,
at any time from the quest
If I think
counter,
back,
and up to 4
Extermination
players can
does go back
However,
to
please
the
note
original
that the
PSO,
regions in
and that
which
had
the
a
quests
similar
take place
time gate
change
thing
on a
on
daily
it.
basis. The
Yeah.
extermination quests
This is time
are
extension.
extremely challenging,
Your goal is to
so we
actually
recommend
get.
trying the normal difficulty
Well, then
combat
again,
patrol
you-
missions first. The key to
No, if I-
success
no.
lies in the photon boost.
This is a
crates
case
that
of
appear
where
during
you
the
need to
quests.
build up, gain earn more
Accessing
time
these
to work
crates
with.
grant various ability enhancements
Right,
for a
and
set amount
in
of time.
PSO, the same thing happened. If you cleared a
Since the
room,
ability
you'd get an
enhancements
extra
are
30
granted
seconds or something like
individually,
that.
You'll need to judge which enhancements are best to acquire and when. We
Individual,
encourage you to
that
try
means we're
these
going to have people
quests multiple
purposely.
times to find the best timing.
They really overestimate
Additionally,
players' ability to
there
work
will
together.
be new title tasks that can be completed by finishing these quests. So take on the challenge to earn titles. The ARKS records during this period will be for the Trainia Horrible Flapping Rank 2. Participate by taking it on with the class of your choice while the ARKS records are underway. Next up is the new AC Scratch ticket, Downy Dream. Come out of hibernation in the cozy comfort of fluffy loungewear and pajama-themed clothing.
I don't think I saw anything in
As
this
for the
that caught
scratch
my
count
eye.
bonus, you'll have
Yep.
a chance to
And I think
obtain
with the limited
variants
quest,
of the motion
it, like-
changes dash
Or
and
not the
glide
limited quest, the
superhero
time
EX
extension
from the
quest.
regular scratch
I think
ticket
it's
prize
just
lineup.
titles from that, along with like
The
whatever
limited
the
time
current
event,
weapon
Spring
series is, and that's it.
2024 will be held from March 13th
Yep.
to April 10th.
So what's the point?
This year, the landscape
Yeah,
of
I think
Kavaris, as well as
the
Central
way they
City,
keep pushing
are
this, if they
undergoing
put those
changes,
timers as
with
being
trees in
too
various
strict, you're going to
locations
start
adorned in cherry
really starting to
blossom
see
colors.
people
Take a
asking
moment to
for,
appreciate this beautiful sight.
and I think we're even starting to see this on the
Shienzi will be
Japanese
spending
side
the
where they're
limited time
saying
event, Spring
they're
2024,
basically
in her
trying to set
lovely
up
spring dress.
passworded rooms
She is investigating the
to
unusual
ensure players
phenomena
meet certain
occurring in Kavaris
specifications
and could use
in
your
terms of
assistance.
weapon up potential and
Don't
such.
hesitate to approach
This
them
could
and lend a
start to
hand.
lead back towards expert
Limited
blocks
time
again.
tasks and title tasks will also be added to this
Yeah,
Something
season.
that they didn't want
they
to go
do rely too
through,
much
but
on
you
timers,
also
that
have
is true.
basically
By
we
accomplishing
have a bunch
tasks,
of brain
you can
deads
get a TA
using this as a dress-up
customization
simulator.
Disc X Omni, Arms Refiner 2, Spring 2024.
Well, to be fair,
special scratch
Sega's
tickets,
treating it like
and
a
more.
dress-up simulator
So we
too.
encourage you to participate
Just with
in the
optional
seasonal event
gameplay.
and reap the rewards. Items available for exchange at the Seasonal Points Exchange Shop include spring-themed build parts, portable holograms, and items required for tech arts customization. Additionally, weapons from the 9-star rarity weapon series Millennium Round will be offered as seasonal event weapons. The weapons obtained from
Super
the
bad,
exchange
that's
shop will
all
already have 5 slots
corporations.
worth
They
of
all
augments.
search short-term
Enhancement
profit
level of
because
plus
they're
60.
because of how the
Potentials
whole
unlocked to level 6.
stocks the stock
And
trading
this time,
system.
their enhancement level cap will be plus 80.
And yeah, it would be helpful if you joined us in
Furthermore,
YouTube chat.
The Augment Season Spring Fiv 2024 will be especially effective against seasonal enemies. So be sure to utilize it to progress through the event. The ARKS records for the week will feature the Trainia Vanishing Path 2 for solo and all classes. Once again, you can participate by taking on the challenge during the event. Aim to reach the finish point while being careful not to fall off. The limited time quest, Flurry of Flowers Cleanup Op 2024, will storm in on March 13th. This urgent quest is a blast from the past, but this time it has all new starlists.
Yeah, I wonder if that
and other
standing
enemies,
quest is going
plus a
to
sprinkling of spring
replace
effects.
Lucille
And
as
the
the,
unusual
one of the
Triano
daily
cliffs are a must-see.
tasks you need to do.
Possibly.
I don't
Prepare
think so.
yourself for
I think
an
they're
awe-inspiring
trying Angle Lucille to be
encounter
more
with the Hellstorm
casual
Thunder
oriented.
Bancer and Thunder Banshee.
This
As they
this
unleash a torrent
time
of
extension
floral
quest sounds
fury
like
upon
something
you
that they're
at the
aiming towards the
climactic
top
finale of the quest.
limits.
Come feel the first
And
seeds of
really,
spring in this
really,
limited time quest.
You know, the top players.
New limited time tasks
I
and
suspect
title
that
tasks will be added
Lucille
that can be
is
accomplished
going to
by
become
completing this quest.
softer and softer to
Finish this
participate
quest to
in.
obtain Reward Box Medal February 2024 as well as titles. In addition, a new limited time course, South Kavaris Dash Spring 2024, will be added to the field races to coincide with the Spring 2024 event. Enjoy sprinting through the sakura-colored trees as you soak in the cherry blossom vibes. Kick it into high gear. Next up is the Spring 2024 Special Scratch. 2 new weapon camo and other items are in the mix. You can also grab a new music disc, plus Mission Pass reward items that are currently hard to get. In addition to the Spring 2024 SP Scratch Ticket, a Scratch Ticket voucher will be added for the seasonal event, which you can exchange for a special Scratch Ticket after collecting 10 of them. There will be no changes to drops and other methods for obtaining special Scratch Tickets, but you'll have more chances to draw more Scratch Tickets, so collect seasonal points and ticket vouchers to get tons of prizes with Spring 2024 SP Scratch Tickets. Mission Pass Season 30 is coming soon. In addition to items like stamps and accessories, valuable items such as personal shop use 3 days and SG Scratch Ticket prize slips will carry over in the lineup.
Well, if they're going to start giving us tames for mag forms, I wonder when we're going to start to get, like, the bigger animals.
Modeled after the tames pack and more. So don't miss
I wonder
this
if this is because they lost their item designer.
Could be.
Next up,
The itemization is supposed to end after March, from what I heard.
Duel Phase 4
of what they
will be
did.
a one-on-one battle against the new starless boss enemy, Ring Wedge, in Retum Alnav. Ring Wedge is characterized by combo attacks that mix a quick blade with powerful footwork. You can get a Vital Gauge design as a reward from the Duel Phase 4 title task.
But yeah, like you were saying, this is recycled, and it's basically just a bouncer, Starless.
Since the stamina and attack power of the enemy in Phase 4 is lower than in previous dual quests, it's easier to take them out even if your equipment doesn't have the Defi-type augments specialized for this quest. Furthermore, the Defi-type augment itself for Phase 4 is easier to obtain than past Defi types. So if you don't have powerful general-purpose equipment on hand, going for the augment is a good way to get equipment specialized for this quest.
Okay, so they did
In
make some
addition,
changes then, it sounds
the clear
like.
time required for a Rank S result has been slightly extended. So if you have never played a dual quest before, this is a great opportunity to give it a try.
So does that mean 3 minutes instead of 2.5?
The SG Scratch Ticket, Renewed Resilience, is packed with new items.
And also, apparently, we're getting a new Gigasmast
items will be
augment
in
there.
this ticket. And the scratch count bonus will include the emote, Ready Stance 3. So keep an eye out for that as well. Although not shown in the video, the Revival AC Scratch Ticket, NGS Accessory Revival March 2024 is also on the way. In addition to the reappearance of many NGS spec accessories that were previously available through AC Scratch Tickets, the Scratch Count bonus provides useful items for weapon enhancement like Astrio S and N Augmentation Success Rate plus 40%. Enjoy character creation with the plethora of items.
Now stuff that's
Those
coming
were the
out in
updates for
for
early
late
March.
Yep.
Yep.
Our next segment will have info on updates in late March and beyond.
Okay, that's Stia music.
Just starting right off of the AC scratch. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting they're doing this.
Yep.
Well, maybe that means that... Sorry, go ahead.
It's in conjunction, most likely, with the other news that we'll be talking about shortly here.
They might be doing this as a sorry.
Oh, Echoes of Idola? I just realized that.
Yep.
I wonder why they're doing Idola stuff right now. For a mobile game that's been dead for, what, 2 years now? 3?
Yeah, something like that.
This might have been content that was going to be released as item codes along with the book.
Yeah, I guess we can go ahead and say it now. The art book that was also going to contain more of the story beats for Idola has been fully canceled at this point.
Yep.
Which effectively means that the story may be non-canon now.
Yeah. There were supposed to be 2 more Dark Falls on Vandor, but yeah, we're never going to learn that story now. Unless they decide to implement it here into New Genesis, but considering the AC scratch, that would seem unlikely. I mean, it's like they're not even doing an event for this. They're not even like making tasks or anything. They're just doing it as an AC scratch, and that's it.
Yep.
Okay, so a new quest in Lucille, it looks like. It looks like it might actually be taking us through the story zones rather than the grid of boxes.
We can hope, but at the same time, we're probably not going to see any real story connection with this.
Probably not.
Absolutely not.
And come to think of it, that kind of quest usually did eventually pop up in PSO2, where you'd go through the story area as a party.
I do remember that, yeah. Didn't they do that during episode 4?
Episode 4, Episode 5, and then, kind of Episode 3, but it was sort of like in reverse order.
Okay, that silly heart thing is a little late. Am I really that far ahead?
Not
Well,
totally.
I have the Easter egg thing going up now, so. Dash Easter egg EX.
Yeah, I think you two are like maybe 1 or 2 seconds ahead of me here.
Yeah.
What did you think? Let's get into a summary of the updates with some slides. First, allow me to introduce the new AC scratch ticket, Echoes of Idola. Avatar items that
Idola,
let you cosplay
Idola,
Idola, and
Idola.
Giselle from
Yep.
Idola Phantasy Star
That's
Saga.
how it's
It's
said.
Idola.
And new clothing from the official VTuber Popona will be
Idola.
available. Look for the Idola character pose emotes that allow you to
Even the
recreate
chat saying
character's
Idola?
pose, as well as weapon camo, including the Seraph Chrysomelos. The
People
Stop
need to
saying
remember
Idola.
Memories of Idola is
the
also
way
on the way.
I sound in Japanese. It's
You can get collab items from Idola Phantasy Star Saga that were previously
It's sort of like
released in
saying,
PSO2.
Well, even idols are pronounced
In
Aidalu.
addition to outfits and emotes, there are mag evolution
And
devices,
considering what
additional
Idola
voices,
actually means,
accessories,
it
and
and
much more.
and Latin, it actually
So
is
be
much
sure to
more
check it out.
accurate to say Idola.
We'll be holding ARKS records for a limited time field race starting
That's
March
why I just
20th.
find it hilarious.
You can participate simply by playing South Kavaris Dash Spring 2024 solo, and all classes can join in. Stretch your legs and try for a field race high score during the ARKS records. A limited time task will be added for this field race and the ongoing Spring 2024 seasonal event. Complete the task to net a reward box medal February 2024. Don't miss your chance. The limited time quest, Halfa Environmental Testing Zone Cleanup Op, will be available starting March 27th. This quest is set inside Lucille from Chapter 5 of the story quest, and
Which means
allows
we'll
up to
probably
8
see,
players to fight together against enemies
Kavaris
from
and
Elio
Stia
and Reto,
sometime
as
in,
well as
I
Starlight.
guess, May.
The boss enemy that spawns at the end changes randomly, so you can play it again and again.
So that's the only random part. Did they
Limited time
lose the
tasks
codes
and
for
title
randomly
tasks will
swapping
also be
out
added for this
the
quest and
parts?
the ongoing seasonal event, Spring
Uh-huh.
2024. Complete these tasks to get Spring 2024 SP Scratch tickets, Reward Box Medal February 2024, and titles.
Yes, Vestige is limited again. This is getting
In the
ridiculous.
second
Yep.
half of the event, new
Those are
items,
dating sim,
some
please.
material items, and augment capsules will be added to the seasonal points exchange shop. So be sure to give it
Yeah, I
another
mean,
look.
there were limited quests back in PSO2 as well, but they
This
were
week's
they were
ARKS
like the
records will
seasonal
be for the
events
trainee
or
advance,
seasonal
Yeah,
quests.
Cannonball Strike
Yeah,
for solo,
and that was
all
it. It was
classes.
just the seasonal ones.
You can participate
Like during the
simply
Halloween,
by taking on
like-
the challenge during the event.
I remember like the Halloween and Christmas events mostly.
Aim for a high score by making full use of the throw action.
This is really just
Next, we have
promo
the new
baiting
AC Scratch
hard.
Easter
It's not
Festival.
working anymore.
Gothic garb and pastel rabbit-inspired wear are hopping your way. Check out the scratch count bonus for alternate versions
Hi, Wolf.
of the Easter egg EX Glide
Hey, Wolf.
and dash motion change
Hello,
items
Wolf.
included in the scratch ticket prizes.
Yep, more of the
That
same.
concludes the update information for today.
This is still just a side game when I
Moving
just
on
want
to
to
the next
mindlessly
segment.
grind.
Yeah, and the other thing I'll note,
NGS
and this isn't anything
Operation
against anybody here or that watches
this
the stream
segment,
usually,
NGS
but viewership
Operation
even on
Report.
this stream is
I,
way
Hiro
down from
Arai,
usual.
Select questions and comments from the players to bring to the development and live operation teams and bring you their answers.
Like, the most interesting thing, the things that
I
we
also
have
have a
are
letter
updates
from the
from the
developers
fan
to share
servers.
with
Yeah,
We'll start with the letter from the developers, a message from the dev team to the players. Allow me to read their letter to you.
let's see what we got this month.
We would like to thank all the ARKs out there for
We would like
continuing
to thank
play
all the people
NGS.
still playing. I'm surprised you guys are still
this
on
letter,
here. What are you doing?
We
Play
will
other
provide
games.
information on the intended
We're making things
implementation
boring
of updates
so that you would
introduced in
leave.
this
Why are you
program
still here?
And our plans for future improvements. First, we'd like to tell you about the design intent behind the time extension quests planned for release on March 6th. We designed these to be new high difficulty quests in the vein of dual quests and Dark Falls fights.
Super Better
After
said it
hearing
very
from
well.
many of you
This is
that
all
you like
recycled
high
content.
difficulty
They're just
quests and have the
reshuffling
difficulty level
everything
for
and put it
practice
together and
runs.
saying, here's new stuff.
Yep.
Yep,
For these quests, we've included two different difficulty levels, normal and hard, on a trial basis. We'll adjust our approach to high difficulty quests based on how these quests are played.
Or,
The
you know,
normal
why
difficulty
not
version finishes at wave
4
6,
difficulty
while the hard
versions
difficulty
where
version
it's
keeps
like
going
you could
through
access
7th
at like
level and
40,
beyond,
level 40,
with
60, and then you got
corresponding
your
jumps in
top
difficulty
2.
and rewards.
Yep. That would
Be
make
sure to
it
take
so
a
that
stab
even
at the
lower
hard difficulty
lower
version
levels have a
after
chance in,
completing
and
it on
would
normal difficulty.
leave the pressure on the new players to shoot
We
up
would like
to
show
the
you
end game.
some of the equipment enhancement related updates that we are looking into for future updates, in response to the many comments and requests that we have received. A recent update made it possible to add preset skills to weapons without them, and we've received a lot of requests to also allow players to change these preset skills after they have been added. We are currently working on a plan to accommodate this. Next, in a future update, we plan to improve the item enhancement process by allowing C and Amio to be directly selected
Interesting.
as material.
Yep.
This should reduce the time and effort spent on exchanging Gold Prim 2 items. In addition, for content released after this improvement, we plan
thank
to
you.
have C and Amio drop directly instead of Gold Prim 2.
Yeah,
That's
that's,
gonna
a
be
good
a-
one.
We also have a
Yeah, that's
small
a really good
improvement
one.
for you in the item lab, where we plan to change the specs so that info on your current tabs for weapons and armor is saved until you exit the game.
Thank you.
This convenient update makes it easier to perform consecutive enhancements. That's all for today's letter from the developers, but we have a special treat for you here at the end.
Oh.
A sneak peek video of the standing ultra-high difficulty party quest
Okay.
planned for release in April, announced on the roadmap at the end of last
Is
year.
this gonna
So
be
the
actually
new Dark Falls.
And let me guess, no story related to this.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Nope.
But hey, I'm all for difficult content.
Yep.
That's what we need, honestly. Now, if there's only a suitable reward for the difficulty content, that would be even better.
Apparently they let us use the mobile cannons. Dark Falls Galleon.
Interesting.
So is this replacing
That
Solus?
was the letter from the developers. Dark Falls Class, Starless Part 2, Dark Falls Galleon. I'm looking forward to that
And
coming
there's
out.
absolutely no story
Be on
behind
the
these
lookout
Dark
for
Falls,
more
unlike
information.
base
Continuing on
PSO2.
to the next section.
Mhm.
I
Where
have
there was
answers
a
from the
big
development
major
and
story
live
between all of
operations
them.
teams to player
Uh-huh.
questions and
Luther was my
comments.
favorite. Piece of Ark's
Here's
trash.
the first one. Whether or not boss enemies are randomly made into Megalotics due to Megalotics challenge settings for cocoons and other areas affects the results of ARK's records. Can something be done about this? Here is their answer. To resolve this issue, we are considering adding an always make Megalotics setting to the challenge settings. We are also considering adjusting the challenge settings for maximum enemy HP and enemy attack power to make them easier to use when playing. We plan to implement these changes around April.
Yeah, if Solus
That
ends
was
up
their
being
answer.
deleted because of Dalian,
Let's move on to the next question.
it's going to be another.
I would like to know a few more details about the new field that was introduced in the preview video in the December 2023 broadcast.
Okay, let's see what they say to this.
Here is our team's response. Unlike current regions, you'll be visiting the new field as a setting for the story and special quests. Overall, it's about the same size as South Retum and is composed of 3 zones with significantly different landscapes, 2 of which will be unlocked when it is first released. Most enemies that appear will be starless, though we plan to release some new enemies as well. The special quests are currently being worked on, but play will combine exploration and combat sectors. And will not require the same level of expertise as Lucille exploration. That was what they shared. I hope you're looking forward to this new field.
So it sounds like I was right then. The
pose
dolls
my
that we
comments
saw there
and
may
requests
just be
so that they can
placeholders.
be reflected in the game's
Probably.
improvements
Makes
and
sense.
corrections. Here is our team's answer. There is no specific place for posting feedback that will make it easier for your comments to be picked up by the team. The development and live operations teams look at a weekly compilation of posts from the miscellaneous issues, questions section on the support page of the NGS official site. Posts with
Yes, it
hashtags
is.
on X
You know,
and other
maybe-
social media, and topics
Maybe
on
there
the
would
official
be
Discord.
easier ways
Then
of
have a
putting it if
discussion
you
and
actually
consider
made
how to
one.
respond.
So
Doesn't
that,
what
like,
exists
the
on the official
The opinions
Discord?
and reactions in the
Yeah,
chat to
yeah.
what
So it's
is
like-
presented during NGS Headline.
They just
as well as
Maybe
completely.
if you
comments
actually-
we receive after
Yeah,
the
like,
broadcast.
isn't there one on the Discord?
Yeah, there is. So they just
Yeah.
completely just
Please
said, "Oh,
understand
don't do
we
that
may
anymore
not
because
be
we don't
able
look
to
at it."
Respond to your comments
Wow.
or requests if there is a possibility that they
Yeah.
may cause new problems with the game, or if they would affect the schedule for new content development or improvements that we need to prioritize.
Like, use your official
biggest-
things.
I'm going to say this. Half the time, the players don't really.
That
I'm going
was
to say
what
this.
they
This
had
is
to
going
say.
to make a lot of people angry.
That's all for our
But
Q&A
oftentimes,
today.
players don't know what they want. They just know what
Yeah, yes,
is
that
what
is
they
true.
don't like.
That is true.
Moving forward,
They don't know what they
we
want.
will
They just
continue to
no. It's like
select and
I don't
bring
like
your
this.
questions and
Okay.
feedback to the development
But
do
at
that.
the same
operations
time,
teams and share their answers with you.
when you get someone who actually knows
Please
what
share
they're
your
saying,
thoughts and opinions
it-
about
it
this
get-
program
easily gets
and
buried
theme
under everything
using the
else.
hashtag
Mhm.
NGS Headline on X
I would also
and
say
other social
we
media.
need someone at the head who actually knows what they're doing, that actually
on to
plays
the next
games like
segment.
this.
Yeah.
You know, like yeah, Wysock.
NGS Satellite Information. Now let's move on from updates and talk about
Messaging,
some
we've been
other
looking for a
NGS
Phantasy
related
Star
info.
5 for over,
I'm
what,
sure it
20
will
years
give
at
you
this
even more
No,
hype
30
to
years at
play
this
the
point.
game. Let's start with this.
I hate to say it, but if we got
The
Phantasy
NGS
Star 5, it would
page
probably
is
be Phantasy
currently
Star,
available on
be
Photoshop for some
Phantasy
regions.
Star Online 3 disguised as Phantasy Star 5.
AC can be purchased through a variety of payment options, such as credit cards, as well as through
Part
digital
of the problem
wallets,
with 5 is they really
convenience
don't
store
have much of a
payments,
reason
and
to go
internet
out
banking.
and like look for the Great Light or anything like that. There's got to be some
We
other
hope you'll
threat.
give it a try.
I mean,
Please note that AC
if you
purchased
want to
from this
start to
store
a
cannot
story
be
like
used
that, I
on
mean,
PlayStation
maybe
4.
whoever's alive can go over to Elisa Land and see how they're doing over there, and maybe things start
Next,
from there.
I would like to introduce a campaign. We will be having a rare drop rate plus 150% campaign starting February 28th. In Kavaris Exploration and Combat Sectors, a rare drop rate plus 150% boost will be applied, making it even easier to gather exchange materials during this time. Also, in the Rayar series exchange support campaign
Part of the
Part
issue
1,
is that we're
being
getting
held at the same
filtered
time,
by.
you can get the exchange
We're being
materials for
filtered
one
out from.
Rayar
Our
series
feedback's
weapon
being
by
filtered
completing
through.
all the limited time tasks.
You know, I'll just stop right
If you
there.
haven't gotten your hands
Yeah.
on one yet, now's
Yeah.
your chance.
They're making the same mistake as PSO2. Oh, actually,
Plus, from March,
is that
the
for
boost
NGS? I
rate
can't
for
tell.
PSO2
Yeah, I think it
premium
is for
user
NGS,
PSO2
even though they
Day
call
will
it
be
PSO2
powered up.
Day.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're doing the same thing that they did with
There will
PSO2,
be
whereby they
massive
just
boost
they just let the
during this
the
time,
rare drop
as
rate
this
go
will
out of control.
overlap with other campaigns,
Yep.
making it the perfect time to
Well,
log
they
in
let
and
the
play.
drop rate go to reach miserable
From
levels.
March 13th, a drop item preset skill rate plus 150% campaign and seasonal event weapon enhancement cost reduction campaign will be held. During
Don't you
this
know if people
campaign
actually get
period,
the drops that they
preset
want,
skills
then
will be
people will
easy to
stay.
fix. And not only that, Seasonal event weapon preset skills will be easier to enhance, so try making various weapons. A campaign celebrating the 4th anniversary of the global version will be held from March 6th. Log in during the campaign period to get weapon camo, handy items for item enhancement, special scratch tickets.
Those master
star
cubes
gems,
are always a
and
nice thing
more.
to see.
Be sure to log in for this fantastic content. Next up, here's some info on a new collab.
Rurouni
NGS will have a
Kenshin.
collab campaign with the TV
Wasn't
anime
that a show
Rurouni
back in like the
Kenshin.
90s?
There must be a new one coming out.
It is scheduled for April 2024. We're pleased to present the first collaboration visual, fresh from the NGS artwork team. During this collab, you'll be able to get special collab items, such as avatar items for dressing up like Kenshin Himura and Kaoru Kamiya, weapon camo based on Kenshin's trademark weapon, Sakabato, reverse blade sword, and motion change items inspired by Kenshin's
Alright, so sorry
actions in the
about being
original
an
work.
uncultured swine, but yeah, I've
Now,
never
allow
heard
me
of
to
this
provide a
anime.
brief introduction to the TV anime Rurouni
I have,
Kenshin.
and from what I remembered, it was boring.
The
At least
comic
the one or
series
two
has
episodes
sold
I
a
saw
total
of it.
of 72 million copies.
It's
And
old.
the live-action
It's,
film
I mean,
series
it's like,
has grossed
it's,
19.3 billion yen.
I would say
making
it's
a
in the
beloved
same, I would
classic
say it's from the
across
same
generations.
era. It felt
Currently,
like it was from the same
Rurouni
era
Kenshin in
as,
Hokkaido Arc is serialized in Jump Square.
crap, I can't remember the other one, but it's basically a 90s anime.
This new anime
like,
has reconstructed the
Tenchimuyo,
original story from the first episode using
that one
with
latest
the Fox
animation
character?
techniques.
That it's like the girl's like
That's all
sit
for this
boy.
episode of NGS Headline.
That's the one I was thinking of. I can't remember right
Please
now.
share your thoughts and feedback on this
Like,
program. And
you
the
say
game
90s
using
anime,
the
and one
hashtag
that comes to
NGS
mind is,
Headline
I
on
think it
X.
was 90s, Yu
Together,
Yu
we can
Hakusho.
make NGS an even more fantastic
Now, Yu Yu
game.
Hakusho was good.
I know, it was really good.
Inuyasha, thank you very
Inuyasha,
much,
there we go.
Ryukichi.
Inuyasha, there we go. I actually liked Inuyasha.
As a representative of the users, I will continue to work with the development team to make NGS a more enjoyable game for everyone, and I look forward to your continued support.
March
The next episode of
26th,
Headline
okay.
will be on Tuesday, March 26th. We'll be focusing mainly on the updates coming in April. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now then, ARKS, I'll see you at the next NGS Headline.
Thanks for watching here on Tuesday night. I'll see you on next NGS Headline. Bye-bye.
Alrighty, so what do we think of that headline?
More of the same.
More of the same, a lot of shuffled content, just basically they're shuffling a lot of stuff around saying, hey, this is new, even though it's basically just reshuffled stuff.
Yep.
And none of it has any real story significance. Which is another thing that they keep running into, is that there is no impact. There doesn't feel like there's any real impact into running this. It's just stuff to just grind on. And it's more stuff that in the story our characters are never going to be credited for. So it feels like it's just pointless, more pointless grinding. And more pointless grinding.
Yeah, and
So-
something I should point out that I just noticed about the Japanese stream, they actually held back on the Idola AC scratch until right at the end.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, that might be showing that the Western version potentially is making them more money than the Japanese version is here.
Huh.
That doesn't make any sense for them to switch the order like that unless it's specifically for monetary purposes like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Like I know, like for like a couple years now, actually, the global side has been making far more money than the Japanese side. So I'm not too surprised on that, but at the same time, it's interesting.
We've been bouncing around from competing on both sides. Thing is, both sides have also dropped significantly in income. I am pretty sure at this point that they are making desperation moves because Sega is looking at this game and going, "What the heck just happened?" And also, Daddy Sammy is also looking at this game, going, "Why is this not making us money anymore?" Something that Zio made very interesting point about is that Sammy was actually banking on Sega as a backup plan in case the pachinko industry went under thanks to COVID. Now that COVID is no longer an issue, we now have the issue of, well, we have a situation where we're looking at them going back hard into pachinko.
Yep.
And because NGS, and you know how it is with gambling versus, they're going, okay, why can't we fish more money out of these players while putting as little as possible in? And it just doesn't work that way with free-to-play games. You have to have the players. If the players aren't happy with the main game, they're not going to buy the extras.
Yeah, that's the main issue with the free-to-play stuff.
And the main issue.
If this was subscription based, it would be a lot different. They would actually focus on making the game good, because that's the way that you keep subs going, is that you make the game more compelling to play.
Yep.
But then you don't have the whales backing things up. And that's the thing. A lot of people look at the whales and say, "Oh, that makes a lot of money with very little effort," and that's the problem. Eventually, the game goes into this self cannibalization. It goes into this cannibalization state where they focus on the easy money, or what they think is easy money, until it stops coming in, and they don't try to fix the game, or their efforts to fix the game is so pathetic that it doesn't work. We really need a Final Fantasy 14 moment where basically the leadership of Sega comes out and asks for forgiveness, say we're going to completely retool this game, and basically they need to do what Square Enix did with Final Fantasy 14 and apologize for it.
Yep. I'm fine with them taking the servers down for 6 months or however long it would take for them to get at least somewhat of a new version going, because yeah, they're putting out content, but it's sort of meaningless content at this point. I mean, we're just increasing our power, but at the same time, there's like no.
We're not even really increasing our power. We're basically having a new. Constantly being presented with a new. They're constantly moving the goalposts, basically.
Yeah, basically. It's like, oh, we're increasing our power. Not really, because we're just matching the power of the new content, and that is it.
Yeah.
Basically, they're trying to keep control on the upper limit of how powerful players can get. But the problem is, by doing that, well, there's a whole bunch of things. Like, one of the paradoxes of, I guess, RPGs is that you can very much reach a point where nothing's a challenge anymore. But then the end-game users who put all that work in start complaining about there being no challenge anymore.
Yep. And one of the problems of a live service game is, yeah, eventually you're just not going to have any content that's going to satisfy, like, your top 1%.
So that's when you stop worrying about the top 1%.
Yeah.
And that's why the middle ground of the game needs to be worked on the most.
Oh, heavily.
Yeah.
Like, the leveling process especially, it is a slog.
Yeah, it's just go through the story and get close to endgame at that point. That's it.
Now, if you want to level up a different class, good luck. Unless you're setting it as a subclass so you can get some easy early levels, it is an absolute pain.
Yep.
I'm just going to say this to say that you can afford to have the top 1%. Basically, the top 1% is usually the most vocal about issues, but they're also the group that you usually should ignore the most, because they tend, unless they can actually point out a really good gameplay issue that's coming up, they're usually very, very selfish about what they want.
Mm-hmm.
How about this, Sega? Put out a player survey. It's been close to 2 years at this point. Just put one out and find out what your players want from you.
Mm-hmm.
The issue with the player survey is it needs to be in-game in order to be accurate. To get anything accurate, because it needs to be... Even then, it needs to be... The problem is, what we have is either a bunch of ultra-casuals who I would call the bottom 10% of the game, who basically are just there for the dress-up features and nothing else, and they would mob the survey, and the top 1 to 10% would then also mob the survey, and the middle ground, well, they're always the silent minority and you're not silent majority, and you're never going to get their opinions because they're usually also the very easiest to lose, but they'll just go someplace else because they don't think that the game will actually listen to them, because there's all these other voices shrieking at Sega.
That's true.
You need to get, basically at this point, Sega sadly, to get the middle ground players, Sega needs to be willing to be a mind reader and actually look at and actually get advice of people like, I would say, Asmongold, Josh Strife. There's a few others. Get those opinions in there and get some, and work on filling out this game, and also be willing to let go of a little bit more of the part of the problem with NGS's design is that they held on to way too much of base PSO2's gameplay cycle. We have a central area that is basically like the shop area of base PSO2, and then we have all these areas around that they were hoping to have like exploration quests, except the problem is they're not like the exploration quests, because the exploration quests were randomized enough to actually feel different every time you ran through them, at least the first 100 times.
And the emergency codes that would pop up were just a nice little distraction.
The emergency codes, their answer for that would be, well, the emergency codes are there in NGS, but the problem is the trial system of NGS is so bare bones, and like, yes, there were things like the fungi thing where they would capture a random player and trap them somewhere. That could be annoying, but it was still a huge gameplay. It would, just having that happen could be a huge gameplay variance. It could make the game feel so much different.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. And I've been saying for a while, quests, these limited time quests, I mean, why can't you give us like 3 or 4 different starting positions, and we take one of 3 or 4 different routes to get to the final boss? Just some variance, because, I mean, at this point, I'm going like 5 times through an urgent quest, and then I'm bored to hell at that point.
Exactly. There is almost no difference between each run. And even then, what we're getting, like, compare Dustovera versus something like the, what was it? Some of those names in base PSO2 were difficult, but the battleship.
The Yamato?
The Yamato quests. The Yamato urgent quests. There was so much going on in that one quest. Even though you were on that one line, there was so much going on in that one quest. It didn't really feel that boring, because there was so much going on from point to point.
Yep. And even later on, they remixed it with new enemies and such. And granted, they did do that recently with the Dustelvera and Nexalio, but still, I mean, there are just core problems with the game at this point. Granted, the battle system, I still love it. It's like everything else around it that's just not working for this game. I'll agree with Rio Pichu. This doesn't feel like a Phantasy Star game at this point.
Yeah, and also Rio Pichu, I was going to say the same thing. Instance Quest works so much better for this kind of system than the open world. Because they have done nothing with the open world. It's just there.
That's the biggest problem with the open world. They did not commit enough to it. They did not like we should be honestly the story quests should be connected to our progression in the open world. Think Skyrim. Think one of the biggest problems is we have Central City, and they treat it as our hub, really, and it basically turns this open world into a hub-based game. Except the open worlds are the most boring. Become the most boring exploration quests. We're going in circles. Let's get to we should get to the news.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that here.
Yeah, we're complaining enough.
Yeah. All right, so first up here, they did make this change this month here. So once a month, you are getting special login gifts, that being the 15 days of material storage use, as well as the end color change pass. Great, so now players might stick around for half the month if they're interested in doing grinding.
I would say the material storage is one of those things that, yeah, I've always questioned why this was locked behind. It's something that should have been available to players from the beginning. I understand the mentality because, it's one of those gameplay features you can sell to the players. But it's always been one of those things where it's such a useful thing, especially in an open world where you could actually have had harvesting, life skill stuff going on. Extra stuff besides just going around killing enemies.
Because, yeah, without the material storage, your inventory fills up so quickly.
Yep. Granted, they kind of fixed that with the big problem was the gold and silver prim sword and armor way back, and it looks like now they're going to fix that again, dropping the Endimo capsules instead of the weapons and armor now. So
that's good.
Yeah. So that.
Say that we are.
Go ahead.
I think 90% of the really dedicated players to this game would not even blink at buying a subscription if you were to switch this game off to subscription and give it some very special love.
I agree. Yeah, I've had ideas in the past, and I'm not going to go over it again. You can look at last month's headline reaction if you're interested. But if I was running things, I have a plan. But yeah, so. That's what we got with this gift. It's just going to be every single month they're giving this away here. Moving on from that, there is a great deals in the AC shop. This is going on until today, actually, until the start of maintenance. So they're giving away, or they're doing for 200 AC an N rare drop rate plus 200% and an N EXP earned plus 100%. Not really that great of a deal there. I mean, it especially with the boosts that are coming up soon. And then for the premium set, there you're getting a bonus Grand Dreadkeeper S as well as a TA customization disc X Omni. So if you're in need of Grand Dreadkeeper S, then that might work for you, but it's not that hard to put that together with Maceta. So, I don't know if this is really worth it or not.
Yeah.
Moving on from that. Okay, so there were several issues that happened with the re-release of Kavaris this month. The first being that players were crashing in the Rajor Gorge exploration sector. And that was traced back to those torches that they set up. So
the new feature was basically breaking the game, and unfortunately, that basically destroyed this feature and once again killed Rajor Gorge.
Yep. Yeah, there were still players going into there, but yeah, players were crashing like crazy. And the funny thing is, I love that, you know, the answer to that was setting up torches in there when I did this whole thing back with a secrets video a while back, talking about the difference of ray ice photons versus band fire photons.
Makes absolute sense and works, and it looks like photonic fire too.
Yep. So yeah, when this bug hit, they basically took the servers down for emergency maintenance, and they gave everybody 100 of the low temperature damage resistance, plus 100% of those, and well, 100 of the 100%. So basically, you were perfectly protected from the cold for 100 hours through this, basically. So yeah, if you wanted to do grinding in there, then you didn't even have to worry about the torches. It's just have fun. And you know, I still haven't finished like doing all the ancient enemy achievements, but I don't know if I'm ever going to do that at this point now with the current state of the game. Maybe eventually I'll come back if things improve, but yeah, those items are going to make that really easy, because I'm not going to have to worry about crafting or putting together augments for each piece of my gear, because the region mags aren't active at the time.
That should have never even been a thing in the first place, honestly. Never mess with a player's gear. That's the whole reason why we're having it, why players are rejecting the players were rejecting the dual quests, because they did not want to have to rebuild their gear all the time, and it's still being
just for one quest, and that's it.
Yep.
Just for one quest. And as someone already mentioned it on Twitter, the biggest issue is that you have to build specific gear for each of the dual quests, because the affixes are not backwards compatible with the older dual quests.
Right. Yeah, so it's a new set every single time.
And that was the main issue. It's very specific affixes that you needed.
They're no longer competitive. You can't. I mean, back in Kavaris, you could have, if you got the top versions of those affixes, you would not be suffering that much in terms of damage output. But that's not the case anymore. Anyway, once again, we're getting sidetracked on gameplay issues.
Yeah. Alright, moving on from that, there is a set of NGS character songs now available. This is available as a CD, as well as available on various different platforms, streaming sites. I will note that these songs are in Japanese and not in English. Moving on.
Kind to be expected.
Yeah. Yeah, as to be expected. So.
If I recall, they only really have one good English singer, so it makes sense.
Yep. Moving on from that, there were some updates to the FAQ. First off, can I extend the period of validity of AC/SG services with a set rental period? And what they did here is they provided what the maximum additional days that can be added to the period of validity. So for premium set, you can go up to 100 days, for instance. Same with personal quarter use and personal shop use. If you have the premium set active, extended storage up to 90 days, and expand maximum orders received 90 days. And then for SG services, it's just 90 days again there as well. Second question they addressed here, what happens to my login bonus on the day I use the premium set? If you use a premium set for the first time or after expiration, since you will receive login bonuses for the unused portion of the premium set at the time you log in, you will not receive the premium set bonus for that day. By using an additional premium set in advance before expiration, you can earn premium set bonuses without interruption. How many days can I extend my premium set? They basically just said that you can extend it up to 180 days. If it would extend it beyond 100 to 181 days or longer, then it's not going to even let you use the item. And then I purchased a premium set but it has not been activated. If you purchase the premium set from the AC shop, you will find the corresponding premium set ticket in either your inventory or storage. Use that ticket to activate your premium set. Okay, moving on from that. So, there was this whole thing with the distinct double-edged eyelids. Which... Yeah... I still don't quite understand what happened here. I guess it had something to do with how they were actually displaying, causing an issue.
They were too thick. They were too thick.
I guess this is a good sign. This is another sign of just how overly focused on cosmetics this game is.
Yep. But the important thing is they plan to distribute 100 Star Gems and 5 Salon Free Passes to all users at a later date. So even if you weren't involved with this thing, you're getting free Star Gems and Salon Free Passes.
Nice.
Okay.
Moving on from that, in the SG Treasure Shop, the product list does not display after performing certain actions. So, they've confirmed a bug in the SG Treasure Shop where the updated product list is not displayed even after using Refresh Product button after certain actions are performed. This occurs when the user goes to the SG Shop by clicking the Limited Time Goods Now on Sale in the SG Shop button displayed at the bottom of the product list, and then returns to the SG Treasure Shop. If the product list is not displayed, please open the SG Treasure Shop again to see the updated product list, and avoid repeatedly using the Refresh Product button. Yeah, because you're still not going to see anything, basically, is what they're saying, even if you do that. Okay, and then we had the whole Microsoft Store version issue.
Oh boy.
This had some people really scared.
Yeah, especially because of the timing of the recent podcast. Because everybody was like, worrying that the game was shutting down. Plus, there was the whole thing where people were selling their Xboxes in revolt of what Phil Spencer was supposedly going to say, but the internet blew the whole thing out of proportion on that.
Oh, like the quote-unquote end of Xbox?
Yep.
Basically, Microsoft was the reason why PSO2 came over to the West in the first place.
That is true, yeah.
So, the net of this is, though, that because of what happened, time has been extended by 45 hours from the end of scheduled maintenance on 2.14 to the release of the Microsoft Store update patch, plus the time taken for the scheduled maintenance on 2.21. So, apparently this had nothing to do with Microsoft, and this was all on Sega, I guess not passing the update approval program or something? So, yeah, I guess we can expect them to do this again if they happen to mess up again on the patch process.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
But then again, it might be better that Microsoft is watching Sega, because we remember the whole situation where Sega accidentally deleted people's Final Fantasy XIV installations.
It wasn't just only that. It was like the whole hard drive got wiped.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah. Yeah, this was early on in PSO2, like year 1, I think, of PSO2 JP.
Oh yeah, I do remember hearing about that.
Yeah. That wasn't good. So, yeah. Well, hopefully this never happens again. I think that's the best way to put this. Alright. Moving on. And we talked about this a little bit earlier here, so basically because there's no chance of sales happening, they are discontinuing the image book for Idola Phantasy Star Saga. And yeah, we're just never going to learn what the rest of that story was.
Unless the developers are allowed to just post stuff.
It's possible. Some things have leaked out in the past, that's for certain.
Well, we can hope. But as I said, this probably means that we have seen the end of Idola's connection with the main story.
Yep. Alright, moving on to the next thing here. Zance, you're up.
Alrighty. Talking about Phantasy Star Universe stuff.
Yep.
Alright, so Update 71 is the Valentine's Day event, where they got the mission Protectors Zeta? I believe that's Zeta?
I'm not sure.
Zeta, Zeta, however you pronounce it. I think it's Zeta. So Protector Zeta will be available until February 28th, so tomorrow. And that is in Otoku Shitenkaku, which I did play that. I got myself a few levels from doing that. Because there's a boost to the server is 100% EXP, and be able to find the following boosters from the event mission. And a 100% EXP booster for an hour, 100% MP booster for an hour, and 100% PA EXP booster for an hour. And then, this was a big thing. The weapon rarity rehaul. A lot of weapons 13 star and above have had their rarity reviewed. Certain weapons also gained a PA boost or had their PA boost increased. And there's a big old sheet that shows exactly what weapons got changed.
Yeah, it is a massive sheet here.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, we could just keep scrolling through the different types of weapons here. Yeah, there is no way we are going through each and every single one of these. So, but
yeah,
the spreadsheet is available for you if you want to look that up.
Yep. Long story short, a lot of the 15-star weapons from like the original game's release are now like 13 or 14 stars, and most of the 15 stars are the ultimate weapons that were released in Clementine. That's basically the differences there.
Yep.
A bunch of ultimate weapons are now out. Not going over all those.
Yeah.
Shinies? Following shinies? What?
I think they're like rare colorizations, or
Yeah, weapon has an ultra rare chance to drop as a shiny color variant. So basically the same thing as like a Pokemon, but for weapons.
yeah. Or,
Okay.
sort of like what we have in the New Genesis, I guess, as well. Where
Yeah.
you could get those color variants.
Yeah, pretty much. 2 items got renamed. Death of Valentine's is now Sweet Death U. Memories with You is now Splendor Rose U. And Clem Needle V3 is now just Clem Needle U. And renamed some duplicate items. If you have an item named something like Invalid Item, please tell the moderator or admin. The PA mod was increased from 10% to 20% for the following TCSMs. Inferno U, Nuadays Mad Dog U, Koltava U, Sig PU, and Knight's Doog U. Balance changes. Increase the power of Chiki Kurenji Combo 2 from 370% to 600% at level 50. Jeez. Scaling change to 1% per level on both combos. And experimental status effects adjustments. We are experimenting with some status effects to make the less used ones more attractive. Poison inflicts 1, 2, 2.5, 4, 5% of the enemy's HP as damage every 2.5 seconds until it's dealt 100% damage. Poison cannot kill the enemy. Shock inflicts 1% of the enemy's HP as damage every 3 seconds during the duration. Edit doesn't work. It's the same with silence. Doesn't work. Beautiful. Bug fixes. Fixed Arboa U's weapon model. Or weapon model. And there were some updates over on the Discord as well.
Mm-hmm. Which we have right here.
Mm-hmm. So, a small update to the ultimate difficulty of Protector Zeta. Increase the reward clear miss Zeta. Fix some of the versions not having PA fragments when S ranked. Also increase the amounts to 5 PAs from 4. The drop table for the boxes have been updated so you'll get materials instead of empty boxes. And then another small update. Added a flyer ship to the resident security department, gas scam area. Added the shop NPC at Otoku Shitinkaku. Accessing the shop should be a little bit faster. Yeah, because whenever I started playing it when the event started, the shopkeeper would take so long to load in between runs. And added a jukebox to Otoku Shitinkaku. Shitinkaku. Accessible at the Little Rappy Doll.
Yep, so that does it for Clementine this time.
Yeah. Honestly, the weapon rarity rehaul is the biggest update that they did.
Yep.
And one of the things I do like about the ultimate weapons is that they can still go up to 1010, but they can also go up to 15. But if they break, you can't repair them. So basically, going back to how it should have been, and not doing the weapon repairing thing to make the 1010s more desirable. Now it's actually not going to be a given that you have 1515s. So that's going to be nice.
Yep. Alright, moving from Clementine to Ephinia. So there is a Valentine's event. Oh, actually, this is already past here. So they had a Valentine's event that went until the 21st of February. But basically, it was just an extra rare drop rate for playing with other players.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was nice.
And then we've also got the Shithack server here. So they also were running a Valentine's event. This one is also already done. But basically for this one, you were collecting chocolates and bouquet at different rates depending upon what difficulty you were on. Had some interesting rewards that you could get here. With the GameCube and Xbox version, with 5 bouquet, you could receive the Resist White Ring. And what this ring did was basically it gave you plus 10 to all resists if another player nearby you was nearby you and also was wearing that specific white ring, not the one from the Labyrinth trial. So 4 players wearing the ring and being near each other would grant plus 30 to all resists for a total of plus 35. The ring gave a plus 5 boost to all resists by itself. Also, 18 chocolates, you'd receive a piece of heart, which had been available in a prior raid quest. And it's for a feature in the Photon Lab that allows a player to make a safety heart and a love heart with variable stats. As for the Blueburst side of things here, if you were to hand in 8 of the bouquets, you would receive a Centurion ability. And of course, there were other items, but that's kind of one of the biggest one. Photon Crystal was also good. I think that one is the one that you trade for a run at Dangerous Deal with Black Paper, if memory serves. It's either that or the sphere that you hand over, and the other one would be used for Gallon's shop. And then they've got an exchange quest going on starting March 1st once the event ends. And that's going to be available until May 31st. And then we got one more update here. This is from the community at Broad here, but basically some players know that there is a patch for Episode 3 Card Revolution called Episode 3 Plus, and version 2.4 came out recently. So with this, it allowed you to, with this patch, it allows you to earn all the cards in all modes and makes all their drop rates the same regardless of your card level. It adds the 99 unreleased cards to the drop pool and allows them to be used. It unlocks all story characters from the start, unlocks all computer decks from the start, grants you 10 cards on win regardless of rank and also loss, fixes the loads of text errors and misleading info. And then for this specific patch, what they did is they made even further text updates, because obviously everything is wrong when it comes to Sega, so nobody can fix everything. There's still more work to be done. It fixes the small card art placeholder images. They corrected the issue of cards being deleted if you connect online to servers which don't support the Plus mod. Notably, Shitserve does not. Gigabumo did say this was fixed, but what actually happened is your decks were safe, but you lost the cards for making new decks with. Whoops. They corrected some cards with which functioned incorrectly, such as Gi. Losses award 10 cards instead of 2. With this mod being fully functional online, it makes sense to grant people more than 2 cards on loss, as a match can take a while and be very fair, and getting 2 cards is just a kick in the teeth. And some other stuff they forgot. So it's nice to see that this mod / patch is still being worked on. Okay, so that's what we had for news. Unless anybody else had anything here.
I don't have anything on my end.
I don't think so. But we do have that one other thing.
Yep, so you want to start that now here, Rooks?
I thought you were going to put it up. Or do you need the link from me?
Well, I thought you were going to open it, or open us up with that, and I was going to put it on the screen.
Oh, hang on, let me get... Okay, this is what happens when we don't... Okay, so one of the things I realized... So, I figured there was a way to actually gauge a character's popularity. And that one of those ways was a online game where a quote-unquote AI, it's not really an AI, it's just a sorting thing, Akinator. You can guess a character's popularity by how quickly Akinator guesses that character.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I have been trying to convince people of is that the characters from PSO2 are a lot more popular than NGS's characters. Now, when I ran this before, well, you know what? Let's just start first off with Mitoy and see how quickly he figures this out.
Yep. So characters. And it's definitely a girl. Is your character animated? I'm assuming
I would say yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
I would say yes.
Yeah, I would say yes.
And from a video game, yes. It's not a horror game. Does your character have powers? Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Dark hair. Mitsui does not. Does your character fight with a sword? No. Is your character pink-haired? Been a while since it.
No,
Look.
she's white.
Okay. Is your character from a mobile game? So technically, yes, in Idola, but that's not really what we're going for
No,
here.
that's not her origin.
Yeah.
Does your character have human skin? Yes.
Yes.
Is your character blonde? No.
No.
Is your character white-haired? Yes.
Yes.
And does your character use guns? Nope.
No.
Is your character from a free-to-play game? Yes.
Yes.
Is your character small?
I would say she's smallish, but like in comparison to other characters.
I would say.
Probably.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, I mean, Angel is 5'5" in game. She was shorter than Angel.
Yeah. Do you control your character? No.
Nope.
Is your character from the Skrunkle? I've never even heard that. No. Does your character have a baby? No.
No.
Is your character a demon? No.
No.
Is your character from Genshin Impact? No.
No.
Is your character from Courage the Cowardly Dog? No. Is your character associated with MMOs?
Yes.
Is your character linked with Sega? Yeah, now he's linking it. Now he's getting there.
There it is. Yep.
Matoy.
Yep. There we go.
First guess, first try.
Yep.
All right. Let's try with Manon.
Yep. Alright, so is your character's gender female? Yes. Is your character from a free-to-play game? Yes.
Yeah.
Does your character have dark hair?
It's a brown hair. It's not.
No, it's a blonde. She's blonde.
Oh yeah, she's blonde.
So no.
Yeah.
Does your character have elemental powers?
Technically, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does your character fight with a sword?
No,
More
she's a
dagger.
dagger.
Yeah, she's daggers.
Is your character pink-haired? No. Is your character from Sleeping Beauty? No.
No.
Is your character white-haired? No. Is your character blonde?
Yes.
Is your character Nigerian? No.
No.
Does your character play a red guitar? No. Does your character use tissues? I don't think I've seen any.
No.
Is your character linked with fire? Technically?
Yeah, technically. So I would just say probably.
Yeah. Is your character linked with Eminem? No.
No.
Is your character from Genshin Impact? No.
No.
Is your character from a mobile game? No.
Nope.
Is your character one of the Rashidun Caliphs? No.
Nope.
What?
What the heck is that?
I have
What
no
the heck
idea.
is that? Yeah.
Does your character have wings? No. Is your character originally from a video game? Yes. Does your character have an orange nose? No. Does your character often wear a hat? No. She has a headband, but I don't think that's what they're talking about here.
Nope, it isn't.
Is your character from an online game? Yes. Is your character from Classroom of the Elite? No. Is your character... did your character adopt a small girl? No. Is your character from League of Legends? No.
No.
It's not Jaina Proudmoore.
It's like from Warcraft. Okay.
Yep.
Strike one.
Yep.
Yep.
Does your character use guns? No.
No. She uses daggers.
Is your character in NRG? I've never even heard of that. No.
Yeah.
Do you control your character? No. Is your character from a multiplayer game? Yes.
Yes.
Is your character from the game Roblox? No.
No.
Is your character linked with horses? No. Does your character have pointed ears? No. Does your character produce VGM music?
Hang on, go back to the pointed ears thing.
Go back?
She has pointed ears.
Oh, she does?
Has. Yes.
Huh.
I don't
It's
see that.
well hidden by the hair.
Yeah, she's a Newman.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I see it now.
Okay. Does your character have braids? No. Just to make sure, we're going off of her original
Okay.
design, correct?
Let's go. Yeah, let's go off of her original design.
Okay. Is your character goth?
No.
Yeah, no, she's not. Is your character from the Final Fantasy series? No.
No.
Does
Nope.
does your character have animal ears?
No.
Do we want to count it though, considering Newman?
No. I
No,
wouldn't-
it's not. It's. I mean, if this were a classic series Newman, I would say maybe, but no.
Okay. Is your character linked with Nintendo? Technically through PSO2 Cloud?
Not really. No.
No.
It's a Sega series, not a
Yeah.
Nintendo series.
Is your character involved with a Blizzard game? No.
No.
Nope.
Are you currently in a relationship with your character?
No.
Nope.
Yes.
No. She my waifu.
This
Does
is not
your
Hitsugi.
Does your character play online games? No. Was your character's hair ever blonde? Yeah.
Yes.
Is your character from a TV series? No.
No.
Is your character known for playing a mage?
Technically, yes.
Technically, yeah.
Okay, so yes. Fiorella V? No. She's not from EverQuest.
Okay. I think we're getting the point here. Akinator's not getting it.
Yeah. Was your character a soldier for some years? Technically, yes. Does your character play Yonder Simulator? No. Is your character transgender? We really don't know.
I don't think so.
Is your character from a 2D game? No. Does your character wear a cap backwards? No. Is your character from Star Wars? No. Do you speak with your character? Technically, but just in story cutscenes? Well, yeah, we
I
spoke
would
to
say
her.
yes. Yes.
Yeah. Play for the Toronto Raptors? What? No. Is your character from RuneScape? No. Is your character good at archery? No. Is your character an elf? With the pointed
This
ears?
is the case. This is the case. I would say probably
Yeah.
because the Newmans have been accused of being space elves.
Does your character use a bow? No. Does your character fight ghosts? No.
No, unless there's something about the Starlets we don't know.
Yeah, but that wouldn't make it into here. Does your character wear an armor? Kinda?
That kinda.
Probably.
He probably has units.
Does your character live in the woods? Not really. Is your character evil? No. Well,
Depends on who you
not
ask.
intentionally evil. Does your character have brothers or sisters? I mean, don't we all have the same father?
I would say no on that one.
Okay. Is your character from that YouTube family? No. Is your character made of flesh? Yes. Does your character have over 100k TikTok followers? No. Is your character an adult man? No. Is your character from the novel Dune? No. Is your character from the Zelda series? No. Does your character wear a red outfit? No, it's black. Is your character from this century? No. Claris, Deep Woken? No. Yeah, I think we've made our point at this point here.
Yep. Basically, it's the same deal with Ina as well. But I would assume that almost no NGS character will actually make it on here. And it's similar across like image boards and such. They don't show up. They've been pushing these characters so hard, but even though they're the faces, they're displayed as the faces in NGS, most people don't even think about them, really.
Yep. Yeah, so that was just a little something fun we wanted to try here, just to see what would happen here. But yeah, it's yeah, nobody's thinking about these characters because nobody's playing the game, unfortunately.
The story really shoves them in our faces, but the problem is that's not how you make people like characters. You have to you basically, when you're writing a story with the player as the main character, player created character, that player created character is their avatar in this world. And if you want the player to like like your characters around them, you have to make sure that those characters are properly connected to that player avatar. And that's not done by showing off in front of them. That's done by having those characters actually make emotional connections with the player. And that also means that they also have to reciprocate. It can't be just one way.
Yep. Alright, did anybody else want to bring anything else up today?
Nope, that's all I have.
Rooks?
I'm pretty much done for today.
As am I. And so that brings us to the end of this episode. On behalf of Rooks and Xantz and myself, thank you for joining us today. Day has dawned. Have a great day, everyone.
Danny.
Have a good day.